right. So I saw a lot of posts this morning. Just did a quick run through my Instagram to see what kind of posts was on there. My girlfriend says I get dark when I talk about things. Can't help it. These are the things I see, so this is what I talk about before I go to work. So I saw a lot of posts on this child named Billie Eilish, I think her name is. She means well. She means well. It's not her fault. It's her generation. With the whole, what is it? There are no illegals on stolen land. That's her line that everybody's worshiping right now. Well, to a certain degree she's right, but everyone's on stolen land. Right? And she's correct in that regard. But I'm sure that child goes home to a locked house. I'm sure that child's house has high walls. And I'm almost certain she has a security system and cameras and all kinds of stuff to keep illegals out of her stolen land. This is why I say you have to take these issues and personalize them. And if you aren't living what you're preaching on the grand scale, if you're not living that personally, you're a hypocrite. Like with me, let's take me for example. The moment I realized that animals were just like humans, I became vegan that day. And I was like that for about 12 years. Maybe longer. I mean, hardcore vegan. No leather. I mean, everything I could to avoid affecting or contributing to the slaughter of animals, I avoided. But in case of the stolen land topic and the whole immigration thing, like I said, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I'm sure this little Billie Eilish girl is not sponsoring any immigrants to come over, right? That's something she could do. She can welcome them into her home, right? Matter of fact, she could buy an investment property. She could buy a home and house a whole family of immigrants, probably multiple. Right when I was younger, I met some guys, a bunch of guys, five guys, somewhere around there. They were all renting a home together. You know, they're all just trying to get up on their feet. So they all rented a home. Some had rooms. Some slept in the living room. Some slept on the floor. So you could fit a bunch of people in a home that don't necessarily have to be a family. She could be doing that for the immigrants. Is she doing that? No. I don't even know that for sure, but I can say that with confidence. She ain't doing that. All these people, everyone at that award show, what was it, the Grammys? How many people attend the Grammys? Look that up. Each one of those people that are sitting there with big old tears in their eyes about there's no illegals on stolen land, each one of them could be sponsoring an immigrant to come over. Are they doing it? No. They're all a bunch of hypocrites. They all want these things to happen because currently at the moment it's not affecting them. They all get to go home to their mansions or their townhomes. I'm sure some of them don't even own mansions. They just living the dream in a faux way. Whatever. It's the flavor of the moment that everybody's talking about and taking advantage of. Get your clips, right? Get you out there, get your face noticed. That's my biggest issue. I half agree with her. No illegals on stolen land. All right, you're kind of right. Everybody stole something at some point, but all those people at the Grammys, their car doors were locked somewhere. Their homes were locked somewhere while they were at this award show. That's what I laugh at. A bunch of hypocrites. I'm trying to get over this little illness right now. Pretty sure I had a 24-hour version of COVID. The worst part was a crushing headache. That's the best word I could use for it. I keep using that one. My brain was being pummeled. Pummeled? One of those. But now that's gone. I feel fine. Body aches are gone. All that's left is like annoying little achiness in my throat. Right back where the nasal passage connects to your throat. It's like right back there. That's it. What else is going on? Saw a cute little post on dogs. I love dogs. I guess there was a deaf dog in a pack. He was new to the pack. He had a hard time making friends. Special needs animals are different. And they just have a harder time interacting. Especially the blind and the deaf ones. Not much to say today. I don't want to rant too much in a negative way. I'm trying to be positive. It's hard to be positive in this world. What can I be positive about? Let's see. I'm positive Billie Eilish is a hypocrite. I have a dark sense of humor. Sorry, didn't mean to cuss. The stuff that makes me laugh is the complete absurdity of the things that happen in this world. It just makes me laugh. I guess you have to have a sense of humor about this stuff. It's so absurd. I guess that's why there's such an effort to keep everybody distracted with the circus that is the rest of life. Right? All the Netflix series, all the sports for the men, all the gossip drama for the ladies. You know, it's easy to get black-pilled. I think I'm black-pilled, but I think it's fun. I love the black pill. I think it's the most entertaining thing. All the crazy stuff that's happening right now that you guys aren't hearing about. Like, what was I telling my buddy Mark? Damn it. I'm trying to remember. What did he bring up? Forget. But it was a good one. Hopefully I'll look it up next time and try to save it for the next video. like this one. Since I got sick, this one was on my mind. I know it was COVID. They're trying to say, oh, there's a cold going around. Okay, technically COVID's a cold. All colds are a form of the coronavirus. Maybe not COVID-19, but the coronavirus. And I know this wasn't the average cold, because the average cold doesn't come with a headache this severe. Like level 10 headache is how bad mine was. Like 10 plus. It was bad. So I started thinking about the vaccine, and would the vaccine prevent people from getting this? Probably. They're probably not getting these little variants as bad as I am, and this is probably the consequence of me not getting it. That's fine. I'm willing to pay the price. But then I started thinking, all right, maybe, what if? This is big what if. Alternate timeline, alternate universe theory. What if the vaccine wasn't for COVID-19? What if the purpose of COVID-19, since we know it was made on purpose, that means it was probably released on purpose. This, in my world, this wasn't an accident that I got out. This happened for a reason. There are no accidents. So in that world, where that belief is true, if this wasn't an accident, then maybe it wasn't an accident that the vaccines didn't work the way they thought they were going to work. That's not an accident. And maybe that's because the vaccines weren't for COVID-19. Maybe they know something else is coming up in the future. Maybe they know another bioweapon is coming up in the future. That's what I was talking to my buddy Mark about. The whole bioweapon thing. Maybe they know in about another 10 years there's going to be another outbreak of something. And what people thought they were taking for COVID-19 was actually for what's coming in the future. Because they wanted to know, COVID-19 was a test run. They wanted to know who was going to comply and who was not. So now they've compiled a pretty good list up till now. They know who's taken the shot. They know who has not. This is all my theory, by the way. Pure tinfoil hat, but I love it. So now they got this list. And now they know in the future, when they release the next wave of bioweapon, who it's going to wipe out. Maybe. Maybe I'm one of them. Right? Maybe I should have got the vax. Maybe I should have been part of the sheep. But they don't want the rebellious people around. They want the sheep. So what's the best way to find out who the sheep are? Let's flush them out. Let's make them self-identify. All right, everybody has to get a vaccine. And then they watch. Okay, who didn't get it? All right, those are the ones that are going to rebel. And I was telling my buddy Mark, I think Generation X is a problem for them, for they, right? For those who want to control. Generation X is an issue because we don't like to be told what to do. I am Generation X. And when it comes to stuff like this, we're hard to fool. The generations after me, the younger generations, they're easier to manipulate. They're more pliable, right? Plus, they're not paying attention. They're so self-absorbed. There's some, but for the most part, I think I'm pretty accurate in saying they're not paying attention. And I think if you were to look at the stats on who got the vaccine, I think you would see everybody after Generation X. There's probably a cascading scale going up as to who was willing to submit to the vaccination. Whatever comes, what's after Generation X? Y? Gen Y? And then the Gen Z? And then Millennials? And then now, I don't even know if this is in order, but then there's Alpha, and then whatever the heck comes after that. I bet the scale goes up more and more, as larger numbers as you go by generation, to see who is willing to submit to forced vaccination. This is all my tinfoil theory, by the way. Just speculating. It's all fun. These are things I find fun. While you guys are laughing at that next Netflix series or that movie you saw, I'm laughing at this stuff. It is wild. They got a runny nose. Pretty sure it's part of a little illness that is not a cold, and that is COVID. So that's what I was telling my buddy Mark. And I was telling him, you know, this is also a test run for, you know, all all these who's the nuclear power in the world. All this nuclear stuff, that's caveman weaponry. Compared to a bioweapon, nukes are very inefficient. That's the next level of warfare. That's the future of warfare, is bioweapons. If they can nail this vaccine thing down and really get a handle on creating a 100% foolproof vaccine for a bioweapon, then they could play this game forever. Right? You could probably selectively target a certain genetic line with the right bioweapon. Right? Nukes is too clumsy. You just take out everything. Take out the people, take out the buildings, take out the infrastructure. Then you have to rebuild that whole area if you take it over. You don't want that. That costs money. You just want to take out the people. You want everything else left intact. What's the best thing to do that with? Bioweapon. That's what I think. That is the wave of the future. Plus, there's money to be made, right? Vaccines. You can make money on vaccines. First, you make a bunch of money getting people vaccinated. Then, you wipe out a bunch of people, take over their area, you flood it with yours. Maybe immigration is tied with this somehow, right? More tinfoil. Here's more tinfoil. The whole immigration issue is tied in to the bioweapon threat issue. Somehow, the two are linked. I gotta think about it on how. Come up with some more tinfoil on how. But I'm sure I think hard enough, I can find a way to link the immigration flood with the bioweapon flood. What could it be? Let's see. Are the people that are coming in, let's speculate, are the people that are coming in over the border unannounced? Alright, there's one indication. They're willing to break a law. Well, I don't know. It doesn't work good in the grand scheme of the oligarchs. That doesn't work very well because they're lawbreakers. They're right away they're willing to break a law. But then again, they're more, how can I say it? They come, I'm not trying to be rude, they come from a third world country. So let's say they're not the sharpest people in the world. And I don't know what their country told them about us. Not sure what their media spun in terms of how the Americans are handling things these days, or what's going on in America. They're probably told that all of us are completely compliant with COVID-19, and none of us, very few, refused the vaccine. They're probably told that. All right. So now they come, and maybe they'll be offered citizenship, right? Maybe that's part of the plan. All right, you guys got here illegally. Let's make you legal. We're gonna give everybody just blanket citizenship. But here's part of the deal. Gotta get a shot. Ooh. There it is. Gotta get a shot. It's part of your citizenship. We gotta make sure you guys are inoculated. Can't be having you guys come over and bring diseases. Plus, COVID-19 happened. You don't want to risk getting that again. These people are easy, right? Driven by fear of their own country. We want to escape, want to better. We're scared to be where we're at. Want to be where we're going. All right. Where we're going, they say this is going to keep us safe. There it is. Plus, the immigrants help shore up the population crisis because people are not having babies, not like they used to. People are supposed to be having at least 2 kids sustain population rates, right? Husband and wife come together, they'll eventually die. In order to replace them, have to have at least another boy and a girl. Some families, it's one kid. Yep. See, tinfoil solves everything. Little tinfoil in someone's life makes all the mysteries become clear. All that muddy water of drama, crystal clear for you to drink. All you need is a little tinfoil. Helps me. I start out my day every day with a little tinfoil. What kind of wild stuff is going on today in the world? I'm working on my rant muscle, by the way. That's all these videos really are. I want to see how much I could talk on the way to work. If I could talk non-stop the whole way on the way to work, then pretty soon, once I get these topics down on like a bullet point in front of a real camera and a mic, well, I'll be able to go off. My goal is to be like Tim Dillon, just to be able to just go and talk, but make sense. I want to make sense too. I think my little tinfoil rants are pretty. That's a good name for a podcast, tinfoil rants. But Sam Tripoli, he nailed it. Tinfoil hat. How he was able to jump on that and make that the name of his podcast. Man, I love Sam Tripoli. He's the best. I have such a soft spot in my heart for that man. He's a good man. He's crazy. But he's a good man. Anybody doesn't know, check out Tinfoil Hat. Check out Deep Waters. I will shout out the podcast that I love. Yeah, it's Sam Tripoli. Look him up. Passing up these trucks, I'm on a down slope so I can let off the gas and coast. They're trying to get oh man, what did I hear? I heard something talking about driving to work. They don't want anybody, they are hardcore introducing 15-minute cities into the public zeitgeist now. There was some sort of article that I heard that was about they openly stated they don't want you driving anywhere past 15 minutes from where you live, and if you do, they are going to start charging you for the amount of miles that you travel outside of that zone. I have to look it up. This is wild. That's tinfoil hat for the win again. Right? I think that was first introduced at the WEF in Davos, Switzerland. If you don't know about that, look that up. Klaus Schwab, all the heads of state, all the main players in terms of political policy and finance and business and every market you could think of that controls your life in some way, they meet every year in Davos, Switzerland. By the way, all prostitution spikes in that area during that time, by the way. Fun fact. Another little bit of tinfoil. But yeah, the masters of the universe, they meet and they talk. And that's where 15-minute cities was first announced. Man, I've been knowing about this for, I want to say, at least 10 years. If not more. Let's just say somewhere around there, give or take. I've known about 15-minute cities. I've known about you will own nothing and you will be happy. This is all part of it. Right? Permanent renters, permanent leasers, permanent purveyors of services like Uber and Lyft. And they'll all play it off to your benefit. Why do you want to go through the hassle of owning a home or owning a car? You know, with all the upkeep and all the insurance responsibility. That's why autonomous cars are so important to them, right? Once they nail that to the point where none of them are getting into accidents. Right? That's how they always sell it to you under the guise of safety and convenience. How can I not get dark with these videos? I know my girlfriend says I'm dark. How can I not? Look at all this stuff we come across. I love it. I get excited learning about this stuff. Like, ooh, look at this little gem of secrecy I stumbled across that no one really knows about. And then I tell them and blow their mind. And they tell me, nah, that's not true. I tell them, look it up. I tell them exactly the keywords to look up, and they look it up. And they're like, what in the F? I don't know if that's allowed. I just said F in terms of not saying the F word. But F that. I'm going to use something. And that's what it's going to be. It's a great word. But yeah, look that up. Look up. Let's see, how can we word this? Plan to charge a fee for driving outside your 15-minute city. Plan to charge I think it's in California specifically. Look that up. California law that will charge citizens for miles driven. Look that up. I'm gonna look that up when I stop driving, see what I find. But yep, enjoy driving while you can. Maybe this is how they introduce the requirement. Probably services like Uber and Lyft, they'll be exempt. There it is. There it is. This is how you have to think. You have to think, why are they doing that? Why? Because it seems like a punishment. Oh, well, obviously they're going to give us a way out. So this is how. This is how they give us a way out. Because most of these cars that are doing Uber and Lyft, they're all either hybrid or electric, right? They're going to play it off as this is part of the ESG, right? Environmental Social Governance. Get in front of this guy. Sorry, buddy. Gotta do it. This lane's closing up. You can get over to the next one. Or two. I'm already going faster than I should go. So there it is. In California, they're going to start charging people. Or at least this is the plan. Who knows how far out this plan would take effect? But even if they're just in a room talking about this and there is no plan or law in place yet, this is what they're talking about. Otherwise, this article would not have been written. And the only reason the article is written is they're getting you ready. Right? That way you can't say you didn't know. The article was out there. You just didn't come across it. Right? It's your fault. Your ignorance caused your demise. That's how it goes. So I told my buddy Mark that I'm going to estimate in about the next 10 years something's going to happen. Something big again. I don't know if it'll be a COVID big thing. Something big. And I gave a 10-year estimate. And he was like, 10 years? I was like, well, you got to understand. They plan for things way out in the future. And then the phrase or the saying, they are willing to plant seeds for trees whose shade they know they'll never sit under. I think that's how it goes. But that's how they think. They know they might never see the result of the plans that they're putting in place. But these people are greater good thinkers, right? What they do is for the greater good. I don't do this for me. I do this for humanity. They think they're very philanthropic with their bullshit. Sorry, BS. So I'm gonna start abbreviating everything. F it. It's all BS. Almost to work. I don't know how I did with this morning rant. Tried to fill as much air as I could without letting any dead air sit in. Trying to be entertaining. I guess that's what you need to be in order to get the views, is entertaining on some degree. I don't know how entertaining I am. Somebody might get a kick out of me. Who knows? We'll see. Post this one up to YouTube. Shoot it over to my buddy Mark. Shout out, Mark. Love you, man. Probably one of the oldest friends I have. Known this dude forever. He's always been a solid guy. Love Mark. Alright, man. Here we go. About to park. See if somebody got my parking spot. Nope, there. It's there. I'm a creature of habit. I love consistency. I love parking in the same spot every day at work. It's like my own personal parking spot. Alright, let's back it up. Alright, everybody, enjoy your day. Don't get too stressed. Enjoy the tinfoil. Put your popcorn emojis in the comments section. It's all for entertainment. Nothing to get worried about. In the end, all the toys go back in the box. That's the rule. No one's immune to the end. That's why my girlfriend says I'm dark. Embrace your death. It's the ultimate conclusion to your life. Alright? Nothing to fear. It's the entrance into the next great adventure. Your death. Don't hold on to life too tight. Enjoy this journey. Have fun with it. They want you stressed. Think of it that way. They want you stressed. And I'm sorry if I stress people out. I don't mean to. I don't get stressed out. I think this stuff is so fun and fascinating. I could do this all day. Matter of fact, I do. All right. Let's go to work.